Ever struggled to retrieve your security deposit from a landlord? In today's story, an epic battle unfolds over a rental agreement gone awry, an insider's tale of legal loopholes, small claims court, and the sweet victory of justice served. Holy crap, this was much longer than I expected after typing it out. I've tried to shorten it as much as possible, but here it goes. Back in 2018, I had a temporary internship in California at insert large tech company, so I took a recommendation from a friend about a room for rent. It would be living with 5 other people, but otherwise it looked fantastic with spacious common areas, multiple huge TVs, full amenities, community rec center, was pool, short drive times to multiple places of interest, all for $650 a month, utilities included. I contacted the landlord, whom I will refer to as Shitty Landlord. He seemed fine on the phone, so I sent him my security deposit to move in a month later. When it came time to move in, I discover a few caveats that came with this low rent price. The common areas were all dusty, none of the 3 large TVs worked properly. If we wanted access to the rec center and pool, we'd need to pay the $80 SUSMO membership fee, and all of the short drives time estimates were exaggerated, unless you were speeding at 2x the speed limit. Whatever, it's not the end of the world, especially at the relatively low price. I'll survive. But then it got worse in the coming months. Shitty Landlord decided to charge us an extra $20 a month for paper towels and public cleaning supplies. Shitty Landlord only checked the community mailbox once a week when he was in town and refused to trust anybody with the mailbox key. As it starts to roll into the summer, in June, Shitty Landlord decided that AC cost too much and we were using too much, so he removed the thermostat from the wall. Okay. One day some of us tenants confronted him when he was at the house, since Shitty Landlord also slept at the house about 1 day a week. And I'll never forget his words as he rushed out of the house. "It's legal for me to do it, and I don't care since I don't have to live here." Well, sir, fuck you. I'm tilted as fuck at this guy's obvious money grab from 6 tenants. Well, it turns out he's right. He legally doesn't need to provide air conditioning. So, the next day, I purchase a high BTU freestanding portable air conditioner that exhausts out the window. Holy shit, this thing was luxury. Of course, I pump my room to 65 degHF, the lowest setting. We have a couple other minor disagreements that wind up with Shitty Landlord texting me that it's fine if I wanted to break my lease and move out early. Perfect. When Shitty Landlord finally gets a whiff of my AC setup, he comes to my room to complain about my AC unit. I reply curtly, "It's legal for me to do it, and I don't care since I don't have to pay for electricity." He leaves and later sends me a text. Yay, okay. Unbeknownst to Shitty Landlord, I'm taking his move-out offer seriously, and this whole time, I've been rallying the troops. All the tenants have been upset about everyone's living situation, so with some minor encouragement, I managed to convince 2 of the other 6 tenants to move out at the same time as me. They were on a month-to-month arrangement. I finally submit all our notices of intent to vacate at the same time. Barely a week after my previous conversation with Shitty Landlord, he's pissed. He was just trying to get me out of the house, but now he has 3 rooms to fill instead of just 1. I ask about my legally mandated pre-move-out inspection. In no uncertain terms, he told me to go fuck myself. He said he's too busy to perform an inspection. Well, that's illegal, but okay. Time comes to move out. I found another room for rent, much closer to the office for only $100 more. We all move out, and I text Shitty Landlord about my security deposit. No response. I text again. No response. Okay, I see where this is going. I spend days and days reading the law, compiling evidence, screenshots, and listing the laws that were broken. The smoking gun was the statute that requires a pre-move-out inspection and a list of things to fix, an itemized list of deductions within 21 days, or else Shitty Landlord loses the right to withhold any of my deposit. In addition, he would be subject to treble damages if he's found to be acting in bad faith. I text again and again. I give him plenty of leniency, and I even cite the laws so I can prove in court that I'm acting in good faith. And Shitty Landlord intentionally ignored the laws that I made him aware about. Shitty Landlord probably thinks I'm a young pushover college student who won't follow through with legal threats. Well, sir, We're going to court because I'm petty as fuck when it comes to people trying to fuck me over. I file in small claims for $650 plus treble damages, plus court costs. Shitty landlord files a counterclaim of $2,000 for damages to the property, claiming I caused flooding and I broke the microwave. Okay, buddy. In response, I gather testimonies from 3 of the other tenants, and I build my case into a 40-page packet of evidence, complete with page numbers, a table of contents, and descriptions for every screenshot and photo. I make 3 copies of everything and submit it to the court and the defendant, Shitty Landlord. The court date is set for November, and I leave the state just before Christmas, so just in time to appear in person since my internship ends, and I fly home in December. He starts filing to requests to postpone the trial. He cites a doctor's appointment, and the motion is granted. Court date is rescheduled for a month later, in December, but still before I fly home. New court date approaches, and he files another request to postpone, citing another doctor's appointment. Somehow that motion is granted as well, and we're rescheduled yet again to January. Darn. January rolls around, and surprise, surprise, guess who's got another doctor's appointment conveniently on the same exact day of the trial? Denied. The court finally got of his bullshit and denied the motion because he can't prove he scheduled the doctor's appointment prior to the court date being moved. Welp. I'm not in CA anymore. I'm across the country on the East Coast. Shitty Landlord thinks if I'm no longer in the state, he'll automatically win since I'm not willing to fly back to CA. Well, unbeknownst to Shitty Landlord, California courts offer an option to appear by telephone. Haha. Court day comes, and I get the call. I'm sworn in and then connected to the court. I'm given time to present my case. Unfortunately, I didn't prepare a script, so I kinda summarize the events and explain why I deserve money. Then Shitty Landlord gets time to defend himself and explain his counterclaim. He doesn't prepare anything either, and he ends up rambling about random shit that doesn't help his case at all. For example, he spends a lot of time explaining how another one of the tenants was shitty, and so his behavior was justified. He doesn't even have a sliver of evidence for his counterclaim when the judge asks for it. The judge asks a few more questions and announces that he'll review the evidence and will get the decision in the mail. A couple weeks later, I get the judgment saying I'm owed $650. Shitty Landlord gets nothing. Well, damn. No treble damages for me. However, it's just my luck. The Shitty Landlord is a piece of shit that won't accept defeat. He files an appeal for who knows what. It's granted. Redo trial is scheduled for May. This time, I'm 10x more prepared. Once again, I'm sworn in, and then they connect me to the courtroom speaker. This time I have a hashed-out script that I read, making sure to emphasize how often I informed Shitty Landlord of the law, how often Shitty Landlord knowingly broke the law, and how I offered so much leniency and so many opportunities to do the right thing. Once again, Shitty Landlord doesn't prepare anything, but instead rambles on so much that even the judge tells him to get back on track multiple times. Shitty Landlord claims I caused water damage and had to replace all the carpets. The judge asks for an invoice or receipt. He has none. Shitty Landlord claims I broke the microwave, so the judge reads him the 3 witness statements that all state I didn't break the microwave. Shitty Landlord says they're all lying. He still has no evidence whatsoever. At this point, the judge clearly sounds done with his shit and says, we'll get his decision in the mail, and the call ends. A couple weeks later, I get the judgment. I'm owed $1,800, and Shitty Landlord still gets nothing. Well, damn, would you look at that? His appeal did not quite work out for him. He goes from owing $650 to owing me $1,800. Being the shithead that he is, he files for a mistrial, claiming I was not sworn in and that I lied in my testimony. Denied. Outside of court, Shitty Landlord offers a payment plan of $20 a month, which will take 7.5 years to pay back. Or otherwise, he refuses to pay up. Okay, I see how collecting my money is going to be. I figure out he banks at BOA by looking up the checks I gave him for rent and seeing where they got cashed. I file for a writ of execution that will allow me to perform a bank levy. It's granted, so I prepare a packet for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department to go to BOA and take his money. LACSD serves him with papers and orders BOA to freeze his account. After his allotted time, 30D, to contest the seizure, LASD seizes his money, plus 10% APY interest, plus sheriff fees. I finally get the glorious check in the mail, 20 months after moving out. I'll probably frame it. Total, $1,893.91. Find small claims guides. There's a plethora of helpful information out there because everybody wants you to win. Even the court wants you to win. At least in CA, they offer a free in-person small claims advisory clinic where employees advise you and walk you through the whole process. Make sure you know the process and what to expect. Document everything. Have conversations through text or email if possible for easy screenshots. Photograph everything, even if you don't think it's important, because the landlord might just claim you damaged it. Do your research on the law. Know what is legal and illegal, and know the penalties for violations. Compile evidence against your landlord and cite the laws that they are breaking. The easier you make it for the judge to see that you're right, the more likely they'll side with you. Get supporting witness statements. It changes the case from he said, she said, where the landlord is calling you a liar, to a 4v1, where the landlord has to call everybody a liar. Just don't commit hearsay, lol. Have them appear in person, or have them sign and submit a declaration. Follow procedures to the T. Last thing you want is for your evidence to be thrown out because you didn't send a copy to the defendant at least 10 days before the court date. Come to court prepared and remember the 7 Ps. Proper planning and preparation. Prevent piss-poor performance. Judges like people who are on top of their shit. If you come to court unprepared, thinking that you can just talk your way to a win, it will be dead obvious. Don't expect the process to be quick. It'll take a while for your landlord to get their comeuppance, but it'll be worth it. At the end of the day, the courts want you to win. It'll just take a while. If you've ever had a landlord from hell, today's story not only sympathizes with your struggles, but comes with a sweet taste of tenant victory. Thanks for listening. And remember, when it comes to rental disputes, knowing your rights and the power of documentation can truly turn the tides in your favor.